Yo, it's your boy Pker coming at you with another firecape guide. So the biggest thing you want to do when you're just starting out with the fight caves is just look up what exactly is happening in the caves, what the monsters are, what Jad does, and get yourself familiar with these NPCs. I would definitely recommend putting in your NPC indicators, this monster here, this monster here, and that's about it. Those are the two that I would pay most attention to when you're inside of the fight caves. Another big one is the wave breakdown. You want to know what's happening in each wave, and the waves to pay attention to are wave 31. Because of the major, you will have to pray mage from that point on for the rest of the fight cave. And wave 60, the double rangers, it tends to catch people off guard. A lot of damage is dealt during this wave. Again, you want to make sure you have lots of supplies when entering wave 60. Obviously, wave 62, as you'll hear in the guide, is a really important one as well. You have to kill the red major first and then the orange. That's generally how you do it because the orange Jad will spawn underneath. Alright, I just want to quickly go over the setup to how you want to do your fire cape. So settings that you really want to do, that you'll see in the video here, is I go to my plugins on my Runelite, type in GPU, open up the settings. I look for a draw distance, and mine is on 90. You can feel free to copy exactly what I have written here. This is so that when I'm doing the fire cape, I can see beyond the boundary lines, so I can see that my NPCs are indicated through the NPC indicator, which I'll show right here. NPC indicator. I'll write down the names of the monsters that I need, and then that will allow me with the draw tiles to see them from a very far distance in order to make sure that they're blocked properly. And throughout the video, you'll see what I'm talking about when you see me angle my camera looking either direction to see what is coming to me. The idea is that anytime you get a double ranger, you want to make sure that at least one of them is stuck behind something while you're trying to fight off the other monsters. So I want to talk about why I chose this setup. And a big reason is because I get a lot of HP back when I'm dealing damage. And as you can see, you'll see a Kodai wand, a blood fury, a blowpipe. I also have a light bear ring because that gives me back special percentage, right? Every time I use my blowpipe with the spec, it gives me back HP. When I blood barrage, as you can see with the runes, I have soul runes in there. For the blood barrage, I also have ice barrage, just in case I need to freeze things in place while I'm maneuvering during the fire cave. So a lot of it, as I said, is it's getting back the HP. That's what we want. We don't want to use our brews until the very end. And surely we want to be quick because we don't want to be sitting in the caves for too long where we have limited super restores, right? You want to be quick. You don't want to be staying in there for long periods of time when you don't have to. This is the setup. I'll go over each item. It's a Kodai one there in the right hand. I got a mage's book in the left hand. I got a light bear ring. I got a decorative top. I got a blood amulet. I just wore a Santa hat just because of Christmas. I got bolt racks. I got my Avas, my Mithril gloves, and I have my blowpipe in my inventory. I got a Carlo bow, and I got a mage cape too, just to help me out with some of that mage. I got restores, bashed, and potions acting as ranging pots, and I also have the Ceridome and brews. The purple sweets, I only really use them for stamina to get back my run, because in a big portion of fire caves, I'm always running around. I'm trying to complete things very quickly, and so in doing so, I don't necessarily need the HP that I do get from them, but I use it for stamina potion. It's my way of getting my my run back so that I can continue putting out damage and going through the waves quickly. So the biggest thing when I walk in is I have my tile markers exactly where I want them. As you can see, I have a helicopter pad on the one, and the other two that are connected to each other are kind of useless, but it just lets me know where I can drag my NPCs in the event that I'm under pressure. Okay, so throughout this video or guide, you will see that I'm constantly dragging the NPCs to the spot to try to get them stuck, and I'm also looking in the distance to see where my monsters are when they spawn. Again, I have NPC indicators letting me know about the important NPCs that I want to worry about. Other than that, I don't worry about anything else that's going on. But if it helps you, then you can also indicate every single monster. It's all up to you. Here we are, we're on wave 31. We do have the major here. Now what I do is I pray mage throughout the entire process of killing this monster. You can do the same, or you can pray flick depending on your skill set. I also don't really use much of my ranging pots until now. I feel that later on in the rounds that it's more useful. Again, you can just like figure out what you want to do with regards to how you want to use your pots. I also don't use much of my restore, so I'm not using Eagle Eye too much until the end, just so that I know how many restores I have by the time I reach the end phase of Jad, or just the fire cape in general. Again, just something to add about this major: when you do end up full killing the major into your last NPC, just be cautious that the next major is ready to go. Every wave from this point on, you will always have a major, so you need to be cautious about that, because when you are between 1 and 5 death, or any death that's very low, you could be hit very hard very easily. I've been caught a couple times off prayer, so just again make sure that you know how many NPCs you got, where they are on the map, and you know, obviously fight accordingly. It seems like wave 60 is where everyone kind of gets confused, because there's a bunch of double rangers and all this stuff. Just get them stuck like how I did it. I also have barrage, so I'm going to freeze one of them in place, which is going to be the Melior, and then I'm just going to focus on the ranger when he comes. So I'm going to put out some damage there, switch to my prey range, and then I'm just going to go ahead and start attacking the ranger. Again, you can have fun with it like I did, and just kind of move around and kind of troll a bit. You know, I'm very confident with this stuff, so for me, I just have fun with it. I have tons of supplies. I'm not sweating. I'm just out here having some fun. One thing I'm going to add to wave 62 is the fact that when the orange NPC dies, Jad will spawn. You have to kill both NPCs in order for Jad to spawn, right? I would recommend killing the red one first, and then moving on to the orange one thereafter, so that when you do that, you know that Jad is going to spawn immediately after in the area of where the orange one died. So to help yourself out, if you're feeling a little bit of pressure, or your supplies are running a little low, you're not really thinking, just remember red before orange. Jad comes after the death of the orange NPC. This is it, the final boss before your fire cape. Now this is the hardest part about the fire capes, is getting past this obstacle. The best advice I can give anyone going through this is it's not going to be easy. You're going to make mistakes. Just make sure that you're praying properly to what Jad is doing to you. When the arms go up, you pray mage. When the paws hit the ground, it's pray range. And as you will see throughout this guide, I am going to start moving around Jad to try to engage with the healers once all 4 healers are identified on my map. I will not move or aggro any of these until I see 4. Now again, there's some distance here, and why I have a Carla bow is to get them from range. I don't want to get close to Jad because he can actually do melee damage. Again, I'm going to try to drag the healers to me to get aggro, and I'm going to try to run around and get Jad stuck with the healers aggro to me in a corner. Again, nothing is perfect, especially in this guy. This is a one take. Just remember that Jad healers do show up once the HP of Jad has reached about the halfway point, and a little bit past that we'll end up having all 4 healers show up, in which then you will have to maneuver and try to get the Jad healers stuck. So just some things to remember. This is kind of a realistic approach. Sometimes Jad gives you some love, and sometimes he just messes with you. And as you'll see, I have a lot of complications, but ultimately I have a fire cape on my back and a completion. After completing now, I look at my inventory and I see that I have still a lot of supplies, which is really good. Thanks for watching the video. If you really enjoyed the video, make sure that you hit the thumbs up and you subscribe.